I know you guys have been mentioning to me to keep you up to date with any deals that I find online on fragrances. Well, I did find some today, and I wanted to do a quick video for you guys to let you know. This is an unedited video, so it'll be a lot of different fragrances from one house that I find very discounted, highly discounted, and I'm talking about the brand Born to Stand Out. So if you're in the market for any new fragrances, especially with the holidays around the corner, you want to buy some gifts, or buy yourself some fragrances that you've been wanting from this house, because I do talk about the house quite a bit, and you want the discounted prices. I think it's time to take advantage of these. I know that I do these kind of videos once in a while, so if you're on the market, get it. If you're in the market, I should say, you get these, because these will sell out right away. So since I discovered the deal yesterday to today, I already see a few fragrances sold out. So these will definitely sell out. And again, if you're in the market, get them. So also want to let you guys know, I used to do links to products in the info box. I know I've received some messages asking me why I don't have them anymore. So I started tagging on YouTube. It'll be a lot easier. When I talk about a fragrance, it'll pop up with a product. You can buy it directly. It actually is a lot more convenient to do the shopping through YouTube shopping. And so it's directly on your screen. The product pops up, timestamped, and you can, check out right away. So it'll be a lot easier. So I do want to say these will be tagged. The products will be tagged. But if they're not, and you end up on a different product, just search for it at that store and you'll be able to find the item that I'm speaking about. So again, we're talking about Born to Stand Out. And the first fragrance I'm going to talk to you about now, I realized I did not list these in order, so I might have to pause the video here and do that. It's a mud. So 50 ml, $148. And this is suggested retail price, $220. I did not write down the perfumers' names. This is, I believe, is a Nathalie Lorson creation. So if you like it's called mud, but I feel like it's a gourmand with chocolate and spices. And it's quite powdery. This was probably on the initial drop of the Born to Stand Out fragrances. And I felt like that first batch of fragrances they launched with what, 20 fragrances? 11, 15? I can't remember exactly how many. I felt like those fragrances were a lot powdery. And even though throughout the drops they've done, they've gotten a bit more stickier and amberier. I think this original collection was quite powdery, but this is quite good. It was not a love at first sniff, but it's grown on me quite a bit. It's chocolatey, it's spicy, it's gourmandesque. And I think the name suits it, Mud. So currently $148, suggested retail $220. So the next fragrance, I think I do have, it's right here, so don't have to pause yet to put these in order. So the next fragrance is Nanatopia. So Nanatopia, I believe, came out maybe a year after the initial drop, maybe 2 years after, I can't remember. So the word nana is in the name of this fragrance. What does that refer to? Banana, nana. So this is a banana-focused fragrance. And you can totally smell the bananas in here. This one's a bit more glossy. It's a bit more sticky. Definitely, once again, gourmand, but for sure fruity with the banana. And obviously, bananas are a very popular fruit. We consume them for what's the ingredient in them? Drawing a blank with the name now. I'm thinking of this fragrance. It's quite spicy, and again, it's syrupy, molassesy as well, like the sweetness, and also the fruitiness. So to me, you know what this smells like? It reminds me a little bit of the bananas you put on perhaps a pancake, or maybe less further distant, from that, maybe the bananas you put on a ice cream sundae or something. But to me, it reminds me more about bananas and nuts on a pancake or something, drizzled with syrup or honey or something. So that's Nanatopia. This is also $148. Suggested retail $220. So you're saving about $80 approximately on these fragrances. So the next one is a fragrance that used to be called Happy Nuts. I have the Happy Nuts. I don't have the current name version called Nuts. This is also 50 ml, $148. And remember, I said these are tagged. And if it doesn't go to the right product, just search for it when you get to the website that it's tagged for. So this basically is a nutty fragrance, and I feel like also this is much powderier than Nanatopia. This has a lot of different nutty notes. I think it has pistachios, for sure it has almonds, and it's almost like those delicacies that you find, that sticky kind of sugary stickiness that is drizzled on nuts to form like a square dessert-like thing. I forget what that's called, but always when I see those things, I love them because I love nutty things and sweet things together. I always think that it's going to crack a teeth because they're so hard with that hardened kind of sticky, sugary sweetness that's covered up the nuts. So this is that kind of a gourmand. Once again, it's a gourmand, but it is currently selling for $148 for 50 ml. So suggested retail is $220 for that as well. It's a gourmand for sure, but definitely a nutty gourmand. Now, the first three fragrances I spoke about are gourmands, but we're going to another fragrance that is not necessarily gourmand. This is an animalic fragrance called L'Animal. So obviously also the most popular fragrances, and most importantly, the one we have in our Scent Club kit right now, number 16 is, no, number 15, sorry. Number 15 Scent Club kit features Filthy Musk. So the more popular fragrances from the house are not at the discounters. There is one that I'm going to tell you about here in a little bit. Not Filthy Musk though. But L'Animal is an animalic musky fragrance. This launched in the trio with Filthy Musk and also one more animalic fragrance called Naked Laundry, which I'm going to get to here in a little bit. But the version they have on sale is the 100 ml, not the 50 ml, and it's $202 versus $305 for the 100 ml suggested retail price. But in the end, this is quite musky. It's animalic. There's some sweetness surrounding it, and it's dirty. And on skin, it gets dirty. But I feel like if you like animalic fragrances and you like Born to Stand Out's fragrances, that's definitely one for you to try. I like it, but I still prefer Filthy Musk. I think Filthy Musk has definitely become one of my favorite fragrances from this house. I absolutely love it. But they do have quite a few fragrances, and I'm putting these in order so I can see them now, just so that I can grab them easily. So that's L'Animal. The next one we're going to talk about is Naked Laundry. So this is part of the trio of 3 animalic fragrances that also included Filthy Musk, as I said. Naked Laundry is an animalic fragrance with aldehydic notes. So this one to me goes old school because aldehydes and animalic notes were quite popular back in the old day. So it gives me those kind of vibes. And if you like fragrances like Acne Studios or Blanche by the House of Byredo and things like that, but with an animalic edge to them, this is definitely one for you to try. You can try this one and see if you like this kind of a fragrance. On skin, it gets animalic. Just be warned. So the last 2 fragrances that I spoke about are quite animalic, and it depends. Some people have a toleration for animalic fragrances. Some people do not. If you're new to fragrances, you might not. But if you've been experiencing fragrances, you should be able to tolerate them, especially if you like them, obviously. So this is 50 ml, 148 currently. Normally $220 for a 50 ml, so that's a great price. So the next fragrance is Drunk Saffron. 50 ml, $220 normally. This is 50 ml, $169. And what does that mean, Drunk Saffron? Saffron is a spice. It's a bit metallic. It's a little bit leathery. But you know what? The booziness in this, because it's drunk, right? And Born to Stand Out has quite a few drunk-themed fragrances. This has gotten much better for me as it ages. It actually is aging like a nice boozy liqueur. And it's part of the initial drop of fragrances that also included mud. Both mud and Drunk Saffron I've enjoyed. I've actually enjoyed Drunk Saffron a bit more than mud initially, but now I enjoy both of them, but a lot more with the Drunk Saffron. This is a fantastic fragrance. It's a perfect holiday fragrance, and it's quite spicy. It's boozy. It's got that barrel age kind of smell to it. It's a bit sweet. Really wonderful. This is definitely one you should have. in your collection, especially if you're a boozy fragrance lover. I got to do a boozy deep dive video, and this will definitely go on it. So Drunk Saffron, check that out. It's a great scent. I believe it's created by Hamid Muradi Kashani. And I have not been remembering the name of the other perfumers. If I remember, I will let you know, though. So Drunk Saffron, definitely one of the ones you need to get your hands on if you like fragrances that I enjoy, because that one is definitely one that I really, really enjoy. All right, so the next fragrance is Dirty Rice. This one is also part of the initial drop of fragrances that included Drunk Saffron and Mud. They went with the perfumers at DSM Firmenich. This is Olivier Cresp fragrance or creation. So they have two versions of this. They have the 100 ml and the 50 ml. The 50 ml is $132, a great price, and the 100 ml is $290. So again, I will tag the product, and if it lands on the wrong product or the wrong size, just search for it from the website. Dirty Rice, so good. It's a really, really great... I would call this a savory gourmand. It's powdery, it's woody, it's a bit creamy, milky, because the rice has that kind of characteristic, and then also slightly nutty, because there's that all these like nuances you get from the rice. But in the end, it comes off a bit savory. It's a kind of a, I guess it's kind of a acquired taste if you haven't explored these kind of savory style gourmands. I think you would like it. And I feel like the minimalistic qualities it has makes for it really special, a bit cozy, you know, enveloping and not necessarily overwhelming. Like Dirty Rice compared to Drunk Saffron, so different. My favorite types of fragrances are more like Drunk Saffron, but Dirty Rice, there's a special place for fragrances like that, and I do enjoy them once in a while. So again, the Dirty Rice 50 ml is $132. There's 100 ml for $290. The 100 ml is not such a great deal because suggested retail for 100 ml is $305, but the price for the 50 ml at 132 is such a great price. The next fragrance is DGAF. I won't say what that really stands for. You guys can figure it out. 50 ml for $169. I believe, who was this perfumer? I forgot his name. He's a Givaudan perfumer. I believe he did this at Firmenich, though. This is a fun kind of powdery fragrance once again. It seems more like an aromatic, spicy, but also something kind of like Dirty Rice. It doesn't really super stand out. So it's got some sweetness, it's woody, it's spicy, and maybe there's some muskiness, but I feel like there's also aromatics here. Kind of like lavender is what I'm getting, those kind of aromatics. So I haven't really, dealt with this one quite a bit, but I think it's definitely an enjoyable fragrance, but not that is a showstopper. It's a pleasant fragrance to wear that is one that is enjoyable, but not like if you want to get attention from people kind of a thing, if that makes sense. So we've got Mad Honey next. Obviously, you know what that name stands for. It's 50 ml, $169. A great deal once again. Mad Honey, to me, is super spicy, and it doesn't come off sticky, syrupy as much as some other honey-focused fragrances do. It's not my all-time favorite, but I feel like there's rose in here and also a bit of patchouli, so I don't know. It doesn't necessarily scream honey to me, but it screams chypre style of fragrance. Another one that I am not too familiar with, but the one that I really, really love, we actually featured in a mystery box, is Sugar Addict. And I'll link it. This is currently $132 for 50 ml. This is considered a fragrance sweetener. So if you're looking to sweeten your fragrances, you layer this down and you layer the fragrance on top. So it sweetens up your fragrances. It's also created by Anne Sophie of Flair. She did a great job. It kind of gives me the idea of Jazz Club or Pavillon Rouge fragrances like that, but in a bit more cozy, not necessarily loud form. So if you like a little sweetness, a little booziness, and woodiness and muskiness and spiciness, this is definitely one for you to try. It doesn't project too much, but I think it's got great lingering power. So it lingers on quite a bit. I like it. It's not a loud fragrance, but it's, you know, it lingers on. Plus it's a bit sweet and spicy, a bit musky. I quite like that one quite a bit. So that one's 50 ml, 130, 132. So a great price for that. I'll tag it. And if you don't see it tagged, just search for the product on the website. And then I've already mentioned Drunk Saffron. We're dealing with multiple websites here. And then we've got SMOKIN GUN, which is this one right here. SMOKIN GUN is also 50 ml, 132. I believe this is part of the initial drop of fragrances from Born to Stand Out, which the perfumers at Firmenich, DSM Firmenich did. SMOKIN GUN to me reminded me a little bit of Smoke from Acro, and of course Olivier Cresp is part of Firmenich. It's not identical. There's some other stuff happening here. I like it. It's like a tobacco-ish smoky kind of fragrance, maybe a bit mineralic. But this is definitely one of my favorites. I ranked it pretty high when I actually spoke about it in the video. But for me, Drunk Saffron from those initial fragrances has totally become awesome. But SMOKIN GUN is still up there. I actually quite love that. So it's 50 ml, 132. And then we've got Sin and Pleasure. This one actually didn't wow me at first, but, you know, things might grow on me later. It's quite powdery and spicy. Maybe some floral notes are coming in here as well. Not one of the ones that stand out, but I have a feeling it's created by the same team that did Sugar Addict, Sin and Pleasure, because I do pick up that DNA in there. And then Dirty Heaven. There's a lot of fragrances here. So before I move on, Sin and Pleasure is 132 for 50 ml. I have it tagged, obviously. Dirty Heaven also, 50 ml, 132. So if you don't land on the product, just search for it on the website. This one's a bit animalic. There's a dirtiness about it. Dirty, hence the word dirty. Not my favorite, well, not one of my favorites, unfortunately. Although between Sin and Pleasure and Dirty Heaven, I prefer Sin and Pleasure. So let me know if you like any of these fragrances so far. We've got three more. No, wait, what? Okay, I think I brought out one fragrance that should not have been brought out. We've got two more fragrances left. So we've got Indecent Cherry. And honestly, this has not been one of my favorite cherry fragrances. I do have a love-hate relationship with cherry fragrances. There's too many on the market. This one, not my favorite. It's juicy, but also powdery at the same time. What are your thoughts on this one? Indecent Cherry. And lastly, well, Indecent Cherry is 169. You might be a fan of it. 50 ml, 169. Normally, it's 50 ml, 220. And then finally, Fig Porn. And Fig Porn is a nice woody, creamy, maybe slightly green-leaning fig fragrance. It's quite powdery and dusty also. Anyway, those are my thoughts on these. They're available now, but just keep in mind when I do videos like this for deals, they don't last. And since we're on our way to the holidays, I'm going to keep doing more videos like this for you guys. So when I see some deals, I'll let you guys know and you can take advantage of them. And this is a great deal because some of the deals like 50 ml for 148, a really great price for the Born to Stand Out fragrances, and also the 50 ml 132 fragrances as well. But let me know if you've sampled these fragrances, Have you owned them? Have you been wanting them? Are you going to take advantage? Do add a comment below. And thanks so much for watching. Please like this video. Please share it. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.